well, so that whoever has not joined, I'll send the recording basically. So, so first of all, let me give a gist of what exactly this, I mean, and how, I mean, maybe give a little bit of brief history of this product, and then we can talk about how it can basically utilize. So initially, it was kind of built as an exchange where the employers can come in, post their requirement, and then the agencies who are registered basically can can approach the employers based on the job posting, and they apply for a specific position to work on. Once employer approves, basically the agency can start working on that requirement. Okay, so we had the concept of naming the fee for sourcing, and and then of course there are like all types of positions that can be posted. So then the idea sprung that, okay, I mean, many places basically there are VMSs, and and many of the requirements are coming to agencies where they do not have anything other than email as an exchange. There is no tracker, like mostly those which are like relationship driven type of requirement, or requirement with startups basically who do not have a full-fledged VMS, requirement even from a mid-sized company, and let's say they don't have the sophisticated VMS. So basically, how do we cater to those customer, and give them something more than just basically a email based interface to communicate, right? So that was the idea, that we kind of basically like um, turned it around to make it make this is a viable product. And I know, and we ourselves use it. We see a huge use of it. We do have an exchange. It's available for free, but the only thing is that when you go in a shared exchange, I mean, you basically the information is shared. Some of the information is shared, even though still you can invite your customer to put the requirement, exclusively assign you to work with, but then there are other agencies who can see the position. However, the other model is we can create a separate instance for you in which you are the only agency, and you control everything in like and onboard all your customers and exclusively work with no one knows. You just share the URL with your customer, and there whenever they post any requirement, it automatically gets assigned to you, and you control everything. So that's that's the exclusive instance model. So I'll be showing how that's gonna work. So consider this as basically one of the instance, so that you get the idea basically, right? Okay, so there are two different, and what I'm gonna do is I'll go straight to the implementation from here. So there are two aspects of it. One is the employer aspect, and one is the agency aspect, right? Okay. Although you can register, but it's more invitation driven. So after registering, we approve the employer, and let's say you have your own instance. That time you will approve it by for any employer. Similarly, we have the agency module where where you sign up, and here it's a shared exchange, so we have got a bunch of agencies basically, but in exclusive instance, it will be only one agency who will who will handle all the requirement. All right. So employer wise, let me just go and log in and basically show this is one of the demo account. And so you log in and here you have one job that is posted basically for data ingestion engineer, ETL engineer, basically. And so you can always withdraw the job or deactivate the job. You can post a new job. It's pretty simple interface to create the job title and all those things, basically. And you define the job job type, and then accordingly, basically, form changes and so on and so forth. So yeah, we covered basically contract to hire, full time. Also, all the international location basically are covered. So whenever it's international location, you can put the city and country and all those, all of those, and you can see, basically you can post all the jobs. So I'll show you maybe another employer where you can see some of the international one, like Montreal and Bangalore and Alpharetta, Georgia, and all those others. So basically it covers any location, for you. All right. Regular features are all there. I mean, pretty much, you can, when you go inside any particular job, if there are any candidates submitted, you can interact with the agency at the agency level. You can interact with the agency at the candidate level, and so on and so forth. So there is secure messaging that goes on, basically, between the employer and the agency. So we'll dwell a little bit deeper into it. I just first want to show the brief of it, basically. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an incognito mode window, and I think I have already created it here, so that I can log in as an agency, so I can show both the functionalities, basically, parallelly. So I'll show you one exclusive agency, and then I'll show you one non-exclusive agency, right? So for now, I will show you an exclusive agency. And when I say exclusive agency, imagine this is an agency where you will be the only agency on an exclusive instance, where all the position automatically comes to you, and so on and so forth. So this particular job that got posted basically has come only to you because you are, and you can submit this candidate directly, right? And these are the positions which basically, after and I mean, because this is a shared exchange, after certain period of time, it has now come to basically all the other agencies as well. But you are engaged, because you are an exclusive, you get engaged immediately on this one. All right. Okay. So now coming to, let's say, a particular position here. One second, let me just see if any position that has some submission. Imran, do we know which one has the submission here? Any?
Okay, SRE Bengaluru.
SRE Bengaluru. Okay. No, this one doesn't have.
DB2.
DB2, okay. All right, okay. So yeah, so this particular job, in the sense that has a submission, basically, and so here your whatever submissions, basically, you do gets listed here, and you can, and then when, let's say, the employer logs in, employer can see all the submission, and good part is that you can manage all the employer account, basically, where if you want to submit on behalf of the employer, just let the employer just come in and see it, what all submission are there, you can do that. So those flexibilities are also there with you when you have your, your own instance, basically. So what I mean is that here, when we go, I'm now going to the employer side, and here I can see DB2, and this is the employer, this thing, and the incognito mode I have created, this is for the agency. So the employer side, you can see that this particular candidate has been submitted by the agency. This is the agency name, and these are the candidates submitted, whatever. And then here, if you want, you can have a discussion, basically. Is this candidate available for interview? Okay, so you can just basically post this message to the agency, and and then basically this has been posted, and the agency will get that message, and the agency can communicate based, at this level, communicate like, at this level. This is more generic level where you want to just exchange information, message with the agency, and so on and so forth. So that is how the granularity has been created, and so you can communicate based on various levels, basically, with the agency which is engaged to work with you. All right. So here I can show you. Yeah, so new message came in, and basically you can see that is this candidate available for the interview, right, and so on and so forth. So this series of, and you can say that yes, he's available Monday to Friday, 8 to, yeah. I'll make it very clear, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. EST. Okay. So yeah, so you can do the exchange, at different level. You can also, like, manage all your candidates. So basically, once you add a candidate, you can create the whole repository of the candidate, and then you can submit the candidate, basically, for a specific job. And so yeah, so you manage the candidate, you have the tracker for each position, and you can pretty much maintain basically the whole interaction. You can give access to your customer, you can register them, you can give the access to the customer, and they have something to see where all the submissions are for you from your company. All right. So let's go to our demo account, and now we create a job, and we try to submit, and so far, is it clear? Do we have any question before we actually create the job and submit a resume and show the interaction?
No, these postings of resumes, who is putting it? It will be from the other companies or something like that? Who are all there?
So imagine Omega Solution being an agency, right? And
Okay.
Omega Solution has got like 10 customers, right? So what you're going to do is Omega Solution is one exclusive agency. Let's assume that you have your own instance, right? You are an exclusive agency, and you have got client A, client B, client C, client D, and you register all these different clients with their own unique ID. Give them the access. You also keep the access, because in case if they are lazy to post the job, you go ahead and basically have somebody in your company post the job, submit the resume, and give them basically a fully cooked plate for them to review the candidate. Or if they are proactive enough, it does take a little bit of time for customer to adopt to anything new, or train them, but if they are proactive enough, they come in and they can post the job for you. So you have all these positions basically for you from from various customers who do not have anything at this point of time. Let's say they are not a big company, they do not have, let's say, the VMS. This is something you're giving basically for them to come in and submit. Also, all the relationship driven customer, right? So let's say if there is a company who has a VMS, but the manager wants to work with you hand in hand and do not want to go through all the all the hassle, right? You can still ask them to basically come in here, create an account for them, and have them post the job and have you work exclusively on this position. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, correct.
Anyone else has any question? We'll go ahead and then maybe create a job and see how the job looks at the agency side, and we'll submit a candidate and do the interaction. All right. Okay. So I'll then go to the employer, which is basically the demo employer.
Kapil wanted to say something.
Sure.
Kapil, were you trying to say something about this? Do you have any question? You're not audible, Kapil. Oh.
My Bluetooth died. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So my question is that typically, in the example you gave, the client A, client B, and client C. So typically they have some solution on their side, like Paylocity or Workday. So how does those systems interact with the system? Is there any connection, or this is a separate system?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, basically this caters to those customer where you have relationship driven communication going on, and the only mode of communication is email. Those sophisticated client where you have Workday or where you have like IQN and all those other VMS, I would say you continue to, because they cannot come out of that, right? It's only those where you have relationship driven requirement coming. Email is the only way things are coming. Most of the startups don't have any sophisticated this thing. Most of the mid-sized companies also. So yes, so this is catering to that market where you have relationship driven requirement.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and post a new job. All right. I'll just maybe I'll pick up something. We'll just pick up some job. So let's say principal firmware engineer, whatever the location is, Andover, MA, Massachusetts. Start date, whatever. I mean, you can put today's date, and like let's say this is a contract role, job description. I just put something for now. Number of openings, 1. Visa requirement, whatever. I mean, if it is all, then let it be. Don't worry about this fee part. Okay. Security clearances, no. Job category IT. Duration maybe 6 months. Hourly rate is like, let's say 82. So you add this job basically, and as a client, you have added this job basically, right? Now we will go to the I'll show you two different type of agency, basically, like, because this is a shared exchange. Probably, I mean, I just want to show you, but my preference would be that, each of you have your own instance, and that's the best way to work on this one. So I'll log out, and I'll show you first a non-exclusive agency. So in the non-exclusive agency, you can, like, basically whatever all jobs, you will not see this particular position, right? Okay, and you're not engaged basically with any of the position. This is in the common job exchange, basically, right? And for this particular portal, like, there is only one exclusive agency, right? So let's say we can have multiple exclusive agencies, of course. So now I'm going to log in as an exclusive agency. And in the exclusive agency, you can see that the principal firmware engineer, and say you can directly submit. So that's what you get basically when you have your own instance. You can start submitting it directly. You can, of course, before starting, if you want, you can message the employer, like, maybe some more details are missing or whatever the case. Maybe you can message it that time. You go inside this, and like here you can see the description, you can see all the details, whatever, right? And so on and so forth. And now let's say you want to submit a candidate, right? So you can submit a candidate. So you already have some existing candidate, right? So you can pick up one of the existing candidate, and then you can put all the details and submit, or you can add a new candidate. Okay, so both the modules are there, right? So here maybe I'll just probably pick up or let's just submit an existing candidate, basically. So yeah, whatever, you can put the information here. Hari Babu, whatever hourly rate is 85, not applicable. Right, these are some of the basic things, right? And you can put your name, whatever. Okay. So so you submit the candidate, and this candidate is submitted, basically. Now we go back to the the employer side. This is the one. So now you can see that Hari Babu has been submitted, and you can, as an employer, you can accept, reject, and hire, whatever, screen the candidate, do all kinds of things, basically. You can also interact with the agency, saying that, hey, what about his availability for an interview, or whatever. I mean, like, and post the message. Okay. And so like this, basically all the submissions of yours will be seen to the manager for a specific job, and the tracker automatically kind of gets keeps building, right? Okay. And also, let's say that if you want to submit a new candidate, submit new candidate, add a new candidate. So this is the model, you can base module where you can add the new candidate. Okay. And the new, once you add the new candidate, and I'm going to go into this, and the candidate gets added here, and then you select it, and basically like add. And your repository of the candidate as an agency keeps building, basically, where you have it. Once you keep basically keep reutilizing the candidate and submit the candidate, basically. Okay. And you also have the message at the top level where you can do the interaction, regular interaction. So technically, you really don't need email. If you don't want to use email, the messaging basically covers all the communication aspect at the top level, at the job level, at the candidate level. Okay. And if you basically want to really pamper your customer, you can manage both this aspect of it, the agency aspect and the customer aspect, and give them the nice submittal portal where you just keep submitting. They come in, they see who they want to interview and so on. But at least they don't have to scramble through their email to look for, oh, you submitted last month, you submitted a candidate, I'm not able to find it. So many times that happens, right? So none of that. So you can avoid all of those mishaps. Basically, it's there, and they cannot deny that it's not submitted, and so on. So,
maybe I'm just giving you requirements. Is there any module which tracks the life cycle of the candidate? Like, is it stage 1, stage 2, stage 5, or offered?
Right. So very good question. So here you can see that, accept, reject, in process, hire, right? So you can keep changing the stage. Excellent question. Keep changing the stage as an employee or as a customer for the.
Okay. Is there any module which helps you communicate with the candidate? I'm sure you have this contact information of the candidate. Do you also?
Right. So this is more of an exchange between customer and you. I mean, of course, you have the repository of the candidates right here, and maybe you can go in detail and whatever. I mean, like this particular candidate is from India, right? So you have some other details basically, whatever description. But assumption is that you have your own applicant tracking system to manage the candidate. But yes, you have some information here. And there are certain actions, basically, you can rate this candidate, you can edit, and you can screen this candidate and so on. But this is more for candidate. You just have a repository where all the candidates which you have submitted to the customer for various positions basically are here. And which candidate you submitted for what position, basically you will go and see it inside the job. So let's say, in this particular job you submitted, you submitted Hari Babu or whatever. I mean, so that information is there within the job, and you have a repository.
Okay.
Yeah, I think is pretty simple and straightforward portal, to have like communication between the customer and agency and take care of all the aspect of job posting and submission and exchange and so on and so forth. Most important is the tracker. Most important is you give a little kind of a formal mechanism to your relationship driven, or where there is nothing available, no VMS available, you give this to your customer, and and then they feel good about it, that yeah, hey, something is there, just not just the.
Okay. And the pricing for this is
so the instance we will create a AWS instance, with full-fledged, you have full ability to manage all your customer and an exclusive instance. If you're interested, my sales team can basically get that and provide, of course, a trial instance for you where you test it out, make sure everything is working fine. It's pretty nominal, I would say.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.
Anyone else has any questions? And of course, there is an admin module. Okay, just to let you know that there is an admin module that comes to manage all your customers and agency. Maybe you have let's say a sister agency, basically, and you want to have exclusivity with, with 2 agencies, so then you can do that too as well.
So,
Okay.
Anju, if I understand the presentation correctly, it is a kind of an interface between the company, the client, and the agency. When you're saying it becomes a C2C kind of the companies, am I right?
Right. So when I say agents, so one is the customer, that is correct. Those are the source from where the requirement is coming. It could be a middle source also, means like a company who's a middle tier company who's not the end customer. That's completely up to you. What is your demographic of the customer, whether it's end customer or a tier 1 customer or tier 1, tier 1 company and all that. You are basically an agency who is basically providing exclusively all the resumes to your customers. So it's an exchange between your customer and you as an agency. And now let's say you want to run that exchange. Let's say you have your instance, you want to run that exchange, and you want to invite couple more agencies. That's up to you. So it's you are free to do whatever you want to do once it's your own exchange. This is a shared exchange, what I'm showing, where of course in the shared exchange you get it for free. So everything is free on a shared exchange. There is nothing. But yes, you basically register as an agency. You can of course invite your customer. You want to try it out, at no cost. You can do that. But you can get your own instance and you can play with it. Yeah, we are willing to provide free trial on that as well.
Thank you. Amit, any question you have, or Vijay?
Not really. I think, yeah, this seems like something we may be able to use, but I will just like maybe ask access from you and do a sort of like white box something. So
Sure. Now we can definitely, whoever is interested, we can create a separate instance, and that's what I would recommend to most of the companies. And maybe we can create a trial instance, basically instance for free as a trial, and and then of course we can give a specific training to onboard some of the customers for you, and then maybe you can manage both the end of the spectrum for that until you expose to the customer, when you know that okay, the whole thing is working fine for you, and so on and so forth. So we can do that. We can certainly create that.
So is it a subscription model you're having, or is it something like a flat per user, or something like a per user or per employee, or for something like a flat subscription model?
Yeah, very good question. So yes, it is per instance. That means like you get the complete basically portal of your own. I mean, of course there is subscription, but you get a complete portal of a complete, like it's a SaaS based, right? So SaaS is like software as a service. We create a tenant for you, and that
so whether it is
only you.
Whether it is 5 employees or
doesn't
250
matter.
employees, it's same.
It doesn't matter. 1,000 employees, 1,000 customers, it doesn't matter. So it's an instance given to you, basically. So, and that instance is only known to you and all your customers. Nobody kind of knows, basically, right? So no agency can come in and you anyway have the exclusivity, but still they having a separate instance with
one login. One
login as an agency. You can create multiple login. You have this thing, but one login as an agency will have all your resumes in one account, all your submissions in one account. You can have multiple customers, right? Basically.
Correct.
Yeah. So all your recruiters, all your recruiters can access just one login, submit all the profile. Anyway, it will be mostly your delivery manager who will.
So instead of is your client only IT consulting companies or also other businesses like something like what do you call medical facility, something like travel agency, something like government agency, something like that? Are they also your potential customers or only IT consulting companies?
So as far as our customers are concerned, I mean, like, Job 360 platform customers are concerned, these are mostly going to be agencies who will buy because they want to provide something to their customer, right? Now, the consulting companies can have customer of any type, right? Whoever is able to give them job, whoever able to give them a position to work on. It could be any company, it could be a medical company, it could be a pharma company, it could be it could be IT company, it could be anything. So, but yes, our customers basically are all the agencies and all the consulting companies, staffing agencies of the world.
Yeah, one potential use case I'm thinking of, I'm trying to take up some activity in a local union. So union, they have different type of, not just IT, they have something like Safeway, they have something like Costco, and their billing, not everybody is IT, but like mom and dad, grandpa, grandma, all those people also, and young people, everybody will be there. So that's the reason I asked. So if there is a reason for non-IT, maybe we should have some separate manual process or something like that, SOP, something like that.
Right. So as I mentioned, like, let's say if a specific client is like, he says like, okay, no, I don't want to deal with like whatever system you have. Okay. You can say that, don't worry, you have given the job, like, I will create that in my portal, right? And I will upload the resume. All you have to do is just log in and see, because that's where we are tracking all the profiles. Right? You just give them the login. You do all the background work. But it is for your own sake, because then let's imagine you've got like 30 recruiters, right? And all of them are submitting or basically getting submitted through the delivery manager. How do you track? Let's say, I mean, more than 10 customer, then you have to employ a new delivery manager. I mean, like, so here you can scale up basically, and a better tracking can happen, right? So VMS, yes, I mean, VMS, that's where VMS, the scalability happens, is that so many jobs can be tracked with so many agencies and so on and so forth, because you have an interface, right? It's impossible to do it through email, right? Imagine the same scenario where you got like X number of customers, and each of them are giving like 5 to 10 jobs. Still it becomes like 50, 100 jobs. How do you manage that if you're just managing it by email? It will eventually will become difficult for you, or difficult for the customer to maintain. I mean, you may have an ATS, you can manage internally everything, but you're still communicating by email, right? And you do not want to expose your ATS to your customer, because you never know what information can go in, right? I mean, what you know, like some recruiter
Anything,
put
Raj.
like, you know, put a wrong rate basically, or your cost basically to the customer. The customer will come to know your cost. So you do not want to, you know, have like, you know, let's say JobDiva or CPAL or something, you know, have access to your customer basically.
Cool. Had a good idea.
Hi Vijay, you have any question?
I mean, no. No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
All right, guys. So if we are all good, then I'll conclude the session. I'll share the recording for all those who could not join, and we'll reach out if you guys want an instance. We can create the instance, trial instance for you. And if you guys think that this is useful, then you can sign up for the subscription.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.